Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Casasilla with Sarasota Neurology, and we're going to be discussing platelet-rich plasma therapy today for plantar fasciitis. Harold was so nice to join us today to tell us about his experience with getting platelet-rich plasma therapy. Thanks so much for coming in today. Can you tell us a little bit about what had happened with you previously?
Yes, it was about 15 years ago when I started having trouble when I would walk. The bottoms of my feet would ache, and I thought, well, okay, it's just tired feet, being on them all day. And it progressively got worse. I couldn't hardly walk. When I'd get out of bed, my feet would feel like somebody had been beating them up with ball peen hammers or something. They were so sore, they hurt so bad. So I started making appointments at podiatrist, and I would go, and they would look at my feet, and they would say, well, we can't find anything wrong. And so I went to another podiatrist, and I had professional orthotics made, inserts for my shoes, guaranteed this is going to fix you. Well, it didn't fix me. So I went to another podiatrist, which was Dr. Daniel Casasilla here, and I got to telling him about it, and he's like, I can fix your feet. I was real optimistic about it. And the more he talked, and my wife and I talked, we're like, well, we're going to give him a try. Their only other conclusion at their end was to operate on my feet, and I didn't want to do that.
So the podiatrist wanted to operate on your feet for your foot pain and your plantar fasciitis.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't want to go down that route.
I didn't want to.
Because the success rate on that you knew was bad.
Yes, it's not. I consider what you did for me.
Well, was that both feet you had?
Yes, both feet.
So you had this bad foot pain on both sides.
I put up with it for about 3 years.
You had this for 3 years. How many doctors total before me did you see?
5.
So you saw 5 doctors. They gave you different treatments?
5 different podiatrists.
Shots, orthotics, or what?
I was diagnosed everything from athlete's foot to they didn't know. And then one doctor did finally say the plantars of fasciitis. And I asked him, well, what's my option? And he says, well, the only option is surgery. And like I say, I didn't want to go that route.
I think that's about the time we met, right?
Yes, sir.
And I told you about platelet-rich plasma therapy.
And like I say,
and that's not surgery.
That's not surgery. Like I said, I was really optimistic. I really was.
So then what'd you do?
Well, my wife and I, we talked about it, and I decided, well, he says he can fix them. I'll give him a chance.
So then you came in and we gave you platelet-rich plasma therapy or PRP therapy to both feet. Is that right?
Yes, sir, into the heels on both feet.
Well, that's where the pain is, right?
Yes, sir.
Because plantar fasciitis is heel pain.
Yes, sir.
And then it wasn't an immediate healing.
No, it wasn't immediate.
What did it take, a few weeks?
I think it was, I had 4, maybe 5 weeks tops.
4 or 5 weeks, because as I explained to you, is that PRP therapy heals by a natural mechanism. It uses your own body's natural healing ability, but we just concentrate it and put it in your heel. And that's what we did.
Yes, sir.
So the natural time of healing, which is 4 to 6 weeks, fell right in the time it took you to get better?
Yeah, and it's like almost immediately I could tell a difference. But as the weeks went on, the pain in my feet went away.
So it completely went away?
Yeah.
And you got off the medicine for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that had to be about 7 years ago, wasn't it? 6, 7 years ago?
I would say 8 years ago.
8 years ago. And has your plantar fasciitis or foot pain ever come back?
No.
On either side?
On either side, no, sir.
So would you consider that a complete cure of your plantar fasciitis that the other 5 doctors couldn't help you with?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, sir, I would.
And you never had to have any surgery?
Feet's never been touched since you did.
So what would you tell other people about getting PRP for their plantar fasciitis?
I would say don't waste your time. You need to come and get it done because it works.
Okay, Harold. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your story with us. And I'm sure that's going to be helpful for other patients that have chronic persistent foot pain and have spent probably thousands of dollars on orthotics and seen multiple doctors for treatment of their plantar fasciitis. What I hear you saying is don't waste your time with those other things. I believe you just said that. Come in and get the PRP therapy and just get it healed. Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming in. If you have chronic foot pain that's not getting better with the treatment that you're receiving now, I encourage you to call Sarasota Neurology at 941-955-5858 for a consultation to see if you may be a candidate for PRP therapy.